well, right now, I'm probably wanting to point out something that a lot of people have asked a lot about. Is Vince McMahon actually dead? He's not dead. Okay? You understand this, right? Vince McMahon is not dead. I've been asked this question hundreds and hundreds of times. I'm not talking about people on YouTube. I'm just being asked by people in general. Like, dude, did you see Raw last night? Oh my god, is Vince actually dead? He's not dead. I want to make this perfectly clear. Vince Kennedy McMahon is not dead. He's alive and well. They killed his character. Do you know what a character is? Right, okay. See, a character, everybody in the WWE is a character. Randy Orton, John Cena, he's one big fucking character. The Undertaker, Batista, Mark Henry, Chris Benoit, everyone is a character. You know? I don't even remember back in the days when wrestling was real. In fact, I don't even think wrestling has ever actually been just about the wrestling. You know, it's always been about it's always been about making money. It's always been about the money. If it wasn't about the money, then it would be watching like 45-minute show people kicking each other's ass for entertainment reasons. But that's what the WWE is for entertainment. That's what the WCW is for. That was what ECW was for. That's what every major wrestling corporation was for. To entertain people. To make money. Now, I know there's going to be people out there, they're going to say, oh, ECW was not about making their fans happy. That's complete bullshit. You know, ECW, if you think about it logically, the real main reason that ECW went under is because they weren't worried about, you know, merchandising. They weren't worried. They were obviously not worried about making money. Money was the last thing on their mind. To say ECW did not care about their fans is complete and utter bullshit. You know, they went out there and they busted their asses, and they went out there for the fans. They went out there to, you know, these people came and paid good money. Sometimes not even a lot of money, but they came and they paid with their hard-earned money to watch these people put on a show. And that's what they did. They went out there every single night and put their bodies on the line to entertain their fans. So to say that to say that ECW never went out there to entertain the fans is complete utter bullshit. To say anyone from ECW, WCW, WWE to ever went out not to entertain the fans is bullshit. There would be no company if they didn't go out there to entertain people. That's their business. They go out to entertain people. They get paid to do that. Doesn't matter if it's real or not. Doesn't matter if you're buying their merchandise or not. They're out there to entertain you. That is their point. Now, I know this is straying off of the topic of Vince McMahon, but, you know, I'm not really worried about it right now because I'm not going to keep sitting here and telling you that Vince is not dead. It was a storyline, a plot, an angle. Not Kurt Angle, but it was a storyline angle. I mean, that's what wrestling's basically come to. Storyline, plot. I mean, here's probably the most well-known plot by most people, and that was the WWE versus ECW and WCW. That was an angle. Shane McMahon never owned WCW, and Stephanie McMahon never even owned ECW. Vince owned all three. Once they all went under, he bought the rights to both companies. Shane McMahon was the on-screen owner. Stephanie was the on-screen owner. They never owned either company. Vince did. Plain and simple. Pure and simple. Straightforward. Vince owned all three companies. In fact, he bought ECW for like next to nothing. The same as WCW. But my point is, everything has a storyline. Everything, you know, things don't just happen for no fucking reason. You know, everything's got to follow some kind of, it's got to follow something. And the best reason to explain why Vince was killed off was because, you know, they were probably like, oh man, this character's just getting too stupid to deal with. I'm not saying that's the reason, but trust me, they'll probably have multiple reasons to why he's been gone. But knowing the WWE, they're gonna be stupid enough to do some shit like maybe like a month or two down the road, Vince will show back up for some god-awful reason and be like, I got you, you stupid fucks. That's right, I tricked the WWE fans because they're fucking retarded. If you're ignorant enough to believe it in the first place, then yeah. You definitely should be made fun of by Vince McMahon. If you're stupid enough to believe that whole angle, yeah. What he says when he comes back, I can totally support him, and I don't like Vince. Now, I do think that he is one smart man. You know, he turned what used to be a regional wrestling corporation into what it is today. He's a smart man. You can't lie. You can't deny that. You know, he's a smart, savvy businessman. You know, and his character, you know, him as an actual person, he's a good-natured person. He's an actually good-natured person. Otherwise, you know, you've got the whole thing that he does when he supports the troops. You know, he goes over to Iraq, you know, the Christmas in Iraq thing, you know. If he didn't do that, he wouldn't care. You know, he obviously cares about people. I mean, it's his character that I hate. His character. I mean, that's why his character was made. His character was made to hate the evil boss. Is a character. We understand that now, right? Characters, storylines, plots, Vince is not dead. You know, this all ties together into a big ass ball. And that ball is called the WWE. Now, I'm not going to name names because it's going to take me a long time to name these people and name certain videos. But just to make this very simple, to answer all these questions that have been buzzing around over the last 5, 6, 7 months. ECW went under because Paul Heyman was not worried about making millions of dollars. He was worried about entertaining his fans. To say he didn't is horseshit. It's complete horseshit. I mean, if he didn't care about entertaining the fans, then he wouldn't even done ECW. Pure and simple. He wanted to do something that he thought was interesting and entertaining, and he did it. It didn't work, but it worked. It worked for a while, but it just didn't last forever. You know, he didn't basically change with times. You know, he stayed in one little spot and didn't. You know, he's all nice and comfortable, and he didn't feel like going into new ventures. That's what happened. WCW, it was not more realistic than WWE. It was just as fake, just different wrestlers. Pure and simple. You want real fighting? Like has been said before, watch UFC, watch Pride. You know, all those are all more realistic. Those are actual fights. There's been people that say, oh, those are rigged too. I'm sure they're rigged in some way, shape, or form, but they're, you know, everything's rigged in some way. Come on. But to make a point very simple, the WWE is fake. The storylines are made up. Why do you think they hire writers? They don't hire writers to write the little things that the commentators say. I mean, they have over 20 fucking writers. You think they need 20 writers to write commentary for 2 people? That's funny. I mean, even if... Here's the biggest clue of all. If you play video games like I do, I'm a very avid gamer. Now, if you play video games like SmackDown vs. Raw, this will point out my point perfectly. Play SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. Play GM mode. On there, you can hire writers to write storylines for characters. If you realize and you think logically, well, if you hire writers to write these storylines, then the WWE does the same thing. Oh my God, you're right! Duh! God, I feel smarter now. But that's what I have to say on the WWE. And to clarify what this whole thing started out with, Vince is not dead. It's a storyline, which we broaden out into that whole little story. So to keep my fans entertained, which is probably about 3 people, if that, I'll show you exactly what I think about this whole Vince McMahon dead storyline. Exactly.